Hello and welcome. I'm your host, author Ryan M. Oliver, and this is the Mighty Books Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Mighty Books Podcast. Today with me, I have a return guest, Mr. Doug Barry. Doug, how you doing, man?
Doing great. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, heck yeah, we reconnected kind of online, and I saw you were very active online doing things and showcasing some cool stuff. So I figured I'd have you back on because, I mean, why not? It's just fun. So what have you been up to since the last time you were on?
I'm trying to remember which book I had out the last time I was up. If I had Farmer Jasper out yet or not, I don't
I
remember.
think you had the second one out. I think it was Farmer Jasper.
If
Was it?
well, there's the night I spent in the People House was the first one,
Yep,
and then Jasper's Day at the Beach, the
that's
day
the
at the beach
one.
with Jasper and friends.
That's the one that was out. It was the day of the beach, and you were working on the third one.
And now the
Yes.
third one, Jasper and Friends, is out. And I also, and I'm not sure if you saw this or not, maybe you did, but we have an activity book out now that I used. I kind of
Nice.
pulled that together myself and published it on Amazon KDP.
Heck yes.
KPD.
Yeah, KDP. Yeah, Kindle Direct Publishing. Yeah, KDP. That is so cool. So how are the sales going for that? Jasper and Friends activity book,
Yeah,
man, 40 fun
yeah, we
learning.
just used a bunch of pictures and stuff out of the books. We did search and finds, what's different about this picture from the other picture, that sort of thing.
Yes. That's so cool. Are you
Yeah,
using the activity book like at events or something, or handing them out for friends and family and the
yeah,
like?
just to see how they go. I mean, in the back, I did the old school paper doll kind of thing. You flip out Jasper and his friends and tape them together and make your own little adventures.
Make your own little friend. Get Jasper. I saw you had plushies too, didn't you? You get some
Yeah,
plushies,
yeah.
stuffed animals.
Did I not have him last time?
I don't think so. He was in the works. Yeah, no, he
Yeah,
was in the
there we
works.
go.
I think we met. I think we chatted. God, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so cool. You're getting all that done. You got on your shirt, you got the logo going. You're all in. That's pretty great.
Yeah, you got to, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
You, you gotta have something behind the books. I'm learning you just can't have books. You got to have merchandise and other stuff that folks can kind of sink their teeth into as well. That makes it a little bit more real.
yeah, especially for kids book. I mean, for kids books, it's so much, I would say it's a lot more obvious to do
Yeah.
stickers and activity books and stuffies and oh my God, my kids would eat that. My younger kid would eat that up. He probably even now, I mean, he's going on 9 here soon. He still loves that stuff. It's just, oh, coloring, yeah, I'll go crazy. So I mean that's so amazing. So what and so we also you're moving into sci-fi, which is
Yeah.
you moved into sci-fi as well. You have like a dual citizenship in kids
Yeah.
books and sci-fi.
That
Yeah,
is. That's
Guardians of the Unknown.
yeah.
Yes, that's so
Pretty
cool.
cool.
So what drove you to sci-fi? You were always a sci-fi guy?
I was as a kid growing up. I mean, I was a huge Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
Robert Heinlein. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right.
Heinlein, that's how I say it. Yeah.
I read a lot. If I didn't read all of his books, I read a lot of them as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
Uh, and I was just driving to work one day, and I don't even think I was thinking about science fiction books. I don't even know how it came along, but I'm just like, do. And I still work on the Air Force Base. And it just kind of came to me. It's like, what about a couple Air Force pilots get kind of caught up with, searching for UFOs and stuff, and it all kind of goes south on them, and they end up getting sucked through a rift into another galaxy far, far away, for lack of a better term.
Right, right.
And they land right in the middle of a turf war. There's got, as all science fiction novels have to be, there's got to be a turf war. There's got to be two aliens fighting each other for
Of
the
course.
galaxy, right? I mean, that's
Of
just the way
course.
that goes.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of galactic war or something. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't have a good
exactly.
sci-fi epic without a galactic war. It just
Yeah.
has to be that way. And so from there, it just kind of snowballed into what you got there.
It did. Came home, started plugging in the computer some ideas and stuff, and things started happening. And I'm like, this is really cool. Actually, I didn't do it at home. Come to think of it, now that I think about it, I was doing it don't tell anybody. I was doing it at work. I was just getting in there at work. I'm plugging in ideas for chapters and stuff and everything, and it's spitting stuff out. And I'm like, this may actually happen. This is actually turning out pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't that funny? I mean, I have that problem with when I'm at work, and occasionally when I have a free half a second and like, oh, I have an idea in my head, I jot down some notes, or you take
Yeah,
5 minutes in between tasks and emails, and
exactly.
like, oh, this will work better, and then you move on to, and it ends up being something kind of cool. I mean, that's a lot of how I used to develop my books. So I mean, that's it. Pretty normal. It's pretty normal. It always hits you. Does inspiration hit you a lot when you're driving?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it does. Yeah, because it's about a 45-minute drive to work in the morning.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got my music going and stuff, and I'm just cruising down the road, 521, nice straight shot and stuff, and my mind just kind of the creative mind, like you said, said earlier, you can't turn it off sometimes, and it just keeps churning.
Yeah. How long does the book end up being? About how many words? Do you know?
I I I did know how many words. I do know how many pages. It's 200 pages.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's almost more of, I think, and I don't know that much about novels, but I think actually folks call that more of a novella than a novel because of the length of the book.
They usually go by word count. Anything under 40K words is about a novella. And then
Yeah.
anything over that is a novel. But I mean, and then they have short stories are under like 10,000. Really, it's whatever you want to characterize it as. It's a
Uh,
story. It's out. Happy day. That's all
yeah.
it really matters. It's a
Yeah.
book. So
Yeah.
it
And
just,
I thought
yeah.
it was fun to pull together. And I thought, this gets me in a different genre of books. So, somebody who wouldn't necessarily be looking for kids' books, maybe they pick this one up and then they start looking up Douglas Berry and be like, oh, he's got kids' books too. Look at that. And you
Yeah. Well,
into
you're
that.
you're kind of doing what I want to do. You started with the kids' books and then moved into novels. I started novels and I'm trying to kind of take a hard left or right into kids' books too. So it's going to be interesting navigating. Are you finding that marketing them is a little different than marketing your kids' books?
Marketing the kids' books for me is just kind of fun.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
it does get a little because
Repetitive.
I get asked this question all the time. They're like, well, how do you market it? Because kids read it, but they don't buy them.
Yep.
So do you market it towards the kids or do you market it to the adults?
Yes.
And I just tell everybody, it's like you just split it 50-50 and hope for the best. I mean, that's what I do. It's like you do some funny stuff out there for the kids with the Jasper voice I got and everything, and do some
Yeah.
funny videos with that.
Yeah.
Where the sci-fi book is almost a little bit easier because you know what your target audience is.
That's true. That's true. I feel like I would have a better time, easier time almost selling to the kids' books because of the fact that kids are going to gravitate towards it. And if the parents see that, oh, this is really cool, they enjoy this would be a good bedtime story or good just a whatever relaxing day story. I'll buy it for my son, daughter, or grandkids or something, or niece and nephew. And yeah, it's that's what I feel like. The kids are going to ask for it. I mean, oh, I
Yeah.
want this stuffy. Oh, cool. There's a book that comes with it. Oh, cool. And so they buy it. It's just that's
Yeah.
it's a deal. It's a whole deal. So I mean, you're making kind of a culture around the books, which is what you want, especially with the activity book and everything too.
Yeah, I'm kind of cheating. I got a biography of Walt Disney that I'm reading
Oh
while I'm
yeah.
doing this, and I'm like, how did he turn that little mouse into an empire? And I'm like, well, if I ever wanted to figure out how to turn my little rabbit into an empire, maybe I need to wrap my head around what Walt Disney did back in the day.
That, you know what, studying successful people is never a bad step. I'll say
Yeah,
that right now. They did it right the first time, or maybe the
yeah.
fourth time, and you get to figure out what they did right, and you get to try what they did. So maybe you'll strike gold, maybe you won't, and you move on to something else.
It makes you feel a little bit better about yourself because you're reading the stories about them and you're realizing it's like, well, they failed too.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Everything didn't go right for them either. So, it's like, all right, I'm normal here. This isn't abnormal at all.
Yeah, comparison is, I heard this comparison is the thief of joy. And if we compare ourselves to other people and like, oh, look how successful they are. But if you're reading like, Walt Disney's biography,
Yeah,
you realize he failed a lot before
yeah,
he struck gold. It's completely normal. It's a normal creative journey. There are so many good stories and books out there. Like you listen to, I'm reading some older horror stuff from Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, and I was reading his bio. Because he's like one of the, I would say, not founders, but a cornerstone of horror. And apparently, no one really dove in and liked his stuff until after he died. And I'm like, oh my gosh, really? And so the more you look into this, creative types, musicians, authors, all sorts of historical figures. Sometimes they don't become famous. The work doesn't become well known until after, well into their later years, where they end up dying, which is kind of scary to think about. So if we're here to see popularity grow, we might as well count ourselves lucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very lucky.
Hey everyone, thank you for making it this far into the interview. Hope you're loving it. I just wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about a gift for you all, a free book just waiting to be read. Just visit ryanmoliver.com and hit the button to receive a free book. It's that easy. Also, consider signing up for the newsletter, where each month you'll receive more fun reading to enjoy. That's ryanmoliver.com. ryanmoliver.com.
So with going into, you have your Jasper books, 3 books there, then you have your sci-fi book. I know the creativity never stops. Are you going to have more Jasper books?
Yeah. The fourth book is in the work, not in the works. I'm writing it. It's a funny thing about books. So it used to be 95% written. Well, now it's about 60% written because I set it up for about a month and I went back through it. It's like, no, 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 this is not going to work this way. So I tore it back down some, but it's Jasper's Christmas Adventure.
That's right, because I know you mentioned you wanted to do a Christmas one. Because I
Yeah.
mean, come on, you got to do Christmas. I mean, Easter.
Yeah.
You got to
It's,
do Easter with a bunny rabbit. I mean,
yeah.
that's
If we can stretch it out long enough, we'll hit all the holidays.
Arbor Day.
Plant trees.
Earth, you can do Earth Day. Shoot, you can do all sorts of good stuff. There's so much you can do with kids stories, kids books. So I know you've been on, I've seen you posting a lot of cool stuff about you being on television, like news channels and doing all
Yeah.
sorts of great interviews. What have
Yeah.
those experiences been like?
The first one was very nerve-wracking.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, sure. I'd be petrified too.
But but once I got in there, because I'm a bit of an introvert. I'm a
Mhm.
lot of an introvert. I know on interviews I don't seem like it, but you get me in a room full of people and I'm the guy with his back against the wall. There's 3 or 4 people in the studio
Yeah.
and the cameras. And I can do those a lot better than I can standing up in front of people talking to them about my book. But yeah, so I did 4. I got 5. I had to cancel one. There was a scheduling conflict, and I've done 4, but that 5th one never asked me back. I kept trying to go back to them, but evidently sometimes when you cancel on people, they don't like that too much, even if you do got a good excuse. So
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I mean, I hate to say, like with mine, it's a challenge because now I'm booked out till basically the end of the year. It's just insane. And so like if someone cancels, I can put you the back of the line, but
yeah,
I can't really fit you in. Otherwise, I am taking up more time to do it. So it's a hard thing. You have to, if you can make it, you make it. But sometimes life just happens, and
yeah,
it does. You do your best to accommodate, but man, sometimes this life kind of kicks you in the teeth and you got to keep keep on
yeah,
trucking. But that's what just, social media is great for that, connecting with people, and hopefully you can ask for leads in other directions too. But you've been
yeah.
doing some local stuff at all?
Not as much lately as I should be. For the same reason. It's like a couple of people will say, "You want to come read to my school or whatnot?" And I read the one school, and it was I shouldn't say it was a complete disaster, but for me, it was entirely nerve-wracking because, like I said, I don't do good in front of crowds, and when I'm
Sure.
speaking in front of, even if it's 108-year-olds, I mean, I'm still like, oh,
That is a
no,
thing, though. I mean, I used to teach kids and I teach adults now. So my confidence level for adults is a lot higher than it used to be for with kids. It's kind of a weird back and forth. And if I go jump back in to teach kids again, it's going to take have to kind of wriggle my way back in and
yeah,
figure out how to, re-engage. It's a different energy. It's a different, energy level you have to give them. Obviously, you're teaching 2 kids versus 2 adults, so you're going to talk a little different. There's hundreds of eyes on you. You're like, there's something in my teeth. Do I look weird? What do I do with my hands? I
yeah.
mean, it is nerve-wracking. It takes some time. But I mean, you do it more often. Maybe start with a class first.
Yeah, I did do back in Maryland. I was up there. visiting my folks, and I did do a, preschool. One of my classmates from high school runs a preschool, so I
Nice.
went to a preschool and handed out books and read farm. I'm sorry, that was a day at the beach with Jasper and friends. I read to them.
Fabulous.
That wasn't quite so bad. That was only like about 20 kids, so that was
I think that's where you should live at is do something that you feel comfortable with and do the small classes. And then if you're, work it up, go do a whole school. That's intimidating. I remember an author doing that. That's what got me into writing was an author came to the school and read us his story. We're like, this is so cool. Then we did actual like activities with our teacher, and the author came around and said hi and did a couple of talks, and then we'd go to different classrooms afterwards. So it was very influential. And I don't remember the man's name. I wish I did. I've been like racking my brain forever, but I was 8
yeah.
when this happened. It's like a little while ago, a little while ago. Yeah, it's good time. So, just so everyone is in the know, if they haven't listened to your first one, can you just do a quick recap of who Jasper is?
Jasper the Rabbit. If you want to do a backstory on how Jasper came to be,
Yeah,
that's kind of a fun little story
it
because
is.
I wasn't really expecting to write kids' books. I did 20 years in the Air Force and I loaded A-10s and F-16s with their weapons and maintained their weapon systems. And folks ask me a lot, how do you go from loading bombs to writing kids' books? And I'm like, well, it's weird because I wasn't planning on it and it kind of fell on my lap. I always thought maybe I could write one when I was reading to my kids as they were growing up, but you never have an original idea.
No.
And my son, who is now 27, maybe pushing 30, but when he was like 9, he went out in the backyard and he caught a baby rabbit. He named it Jasper and he brought it in the house and asked if he could keep him. And I'm like, well, you really can't domesticate a wild rabbit, but we'll keep him over the night because I think there was a rainstorm coming through and he was worried about him
Oh,
being out in
okay.
the rain.
Sure.
So we made a little shoebox and we kept him overnight and we let him go the next day. And
Yeah.
when we did that, I looked at my wife Sherry. I'm like, there it is. What a great idea for a children's book. Because the rabbit will be brought in. Well, in the storybook, he sneaks in because I didn't need a bunch of kids running out there catching rabbits in their backyard. So I
Sure
figured
you do. It's
I,
fine.
I figured it'd be better if he sneaks in through a pet door. But I told my wife, I said, now he's going to go back out in our yard and he's going to see the squirrels and the birds and he's going to be like, you'll never guess what happened to me. I stayed a night in a people house. And they're
Yeah.
going to be like, oh yeah, sure you did. Sure you did. I don't believe you. And so the first book is Jasper sneaking into the house, playing with the kids, and then going back outside and explaining it to his friends. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of cool. And I thought it was going to be a one and done kind of book. It sold like 500 copies in 3 months,
Phew.
and everybody started asking me about what the next book is, and I'm like, well, I don't know because I didn't plan on the next book. And since we like to go to the beach over at Myrtle Beach, I'm like, well, Jasper and friends live by a pond. The pond's got a little stream. They follow the stream. They get to the beach. Introduce a new friend, Swan, in the second book. She's the one that actually leads them to the beach. She moves to the pond and says, hey, I've passed this really cool place on the way here. I think they call it a beach. So they go and they do beach stuff, build sand castles and take a ride on a big sea turtle.
Yeah.
And then the third one, again, same thing. Where are they going next? I'm like, I didn't really think about it. So I fell back under my farming days when I was in Maryland from 79 to 85 when I joined the Air Force. We ran a poultry farm of about I don't really remember the number, like 40,000 to 60,000
Jeez.
chickens, somewhere around there we had.
Yeah, that's wild.
So I fell back to that a little bit. And it's like Farmer Jasper. What little kid doesn't like a farmer book? It's like, so we went with a farm book where he feeds the animals and plants a garden and all that sort of thing.
Oh, there's so much you can do. And then you're doing a Christmas one coming up in the near-ish future.
Yeah.
And you have so many people are going to keep asking for more. So, I mean, keep the ideas coming. 100% keep the ideas coming. So you had the Jasper series, and you have your sci-fi series,
Yeah.
which you said you just thought about in the car and started going bananas on that one. Is that a one and doneer, or is it a sequel, prequel, trilogy? What any plans for the sci-fi side of your brain?
Yeah, that's I mean, there's an idea for a second book already.
Oh, I'd be
I,
surprised if there wasn't.
but I really want to wait and see how it sells.
Yeah,
Uh, if it just flops, I have not had the initial luck with that I did my children's books.
sure.
So we'll see how that one goes. I'll give it a year, and if it's just falling flat, there'll be no reason to really to keep it going. But
Yeah.
if it picks up a little bit, I mean, I haven't done any vendor events yet with it, so I really haven't seen face to face yet how people are taking it. So
Yeah, the novels are a little harder to sell, and the more people I talk to, the more it's this. The creativity is for marketing it is such a it's a bit of a challenge. I feel like kids book is there's just such a natural like gravitation towards kids books because kids love fun pictures, they love
yeah,
animals. Parents and grandparents and all the adults who have little kids in their lives want to give them gifts, and books make great gifts.
yeah,
And especially now you have your activity book with it. I
yeah,
mean, that's incentivized as well. So I feel like marketing kids books is it's just so much more of a clear-cut path than it is sci-fi, fantasy, romance, anything other genre-esque. You have to like really find your audience and just push stuff in their face as much as possible. It's
yeah.
kind of crazy.
The
Yeah,
kids' books are obviously more visual, so I told the
yes.
illustrator, it's like make these characters have got to be the cutest characters you've ever seen. I mean, they almost have to sell the book. They got to like just look at these characters and be immediately. It's like, oh, these are so cool.
Exactly. That's it. That's it. It's the visual. I mean, more people are visual learners. They're visual, just, that's how they interact with the world. The visual, it just makes more sense that way. A cover needs to be awesome and
Yeah,
interesting, but it's just the one picture versus Jasper has how many pictures in each book, 20-ish plus pages,
yeah.
if not more. So there's a lot of interaction. And then, I mean, if your kids say, Dad, Mom, I want a book, are you going to say no to giving your kid a book? I'm really bad at saying no to my kids wanting books. I'm just really bad at it. It's just sure, yeah, we'll buy books and they read them, and it's a lot harder to say no to kids wanting something that's educational and appropriate.
Exactly. That kind of brings us to a good point because that's one of my marketing things I tell folks. It's like my books just they'll quiet the noise of the world and just let kids be kids. They're not going to find any kind of social news of the day in there. They're just going to be good, fun stories that, maybe you'll get a little teamwork, because of my military stuff, a little bit of teamwork doing your chores before you can play kind of stuff,
Yeah.
those kind of things.
Yeah, like, actually, right, what's good practices for raising your kids? Just some good practices that we normally want to instill in the babies,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And so going further, you were sort of telling me a story before we hit record. And I want you to kind of recap for me. You're moving into music now, which is like that. That's why I had to reach out. I'm like, okay, we got to talk because you're just doing all the cool things. So can you hit me up? Tell us about the music side of the house now.
It's crazy. Ever since this whole book thing started, I'm quick to tell people I feel like God put me on this path.
Yeah,
It's just I'm just going to follow it to wherever it leads me.
right.
And when we were doing the Jasper books, I thought like down the road I really want to do a cartoon. So I decided I would devise a Jasper jingle. So at least I'd have that much and it'd be like one more step closer to the cartoon.
Ooh,
So I did the lyrics and I put it out there on LinkedIn that I had a Jasper jingle. And I really, it'd be cool if I could find somebody that could put music to it and sing it and that sort of
yeah.
thing, because I sure can't carry a tune in a bucket. It can't be me. So
Auto-tune's pretty impressive these days, so just, don't hold out too much.
yeah, one of my connections said, "Well, you really got to go see Matt Clark. He's really creative and he's into some AI stuff, and he can add AI vocals and AI music to the words." So I'm like, cool. So I hooked up with him, and we did the Jasper and Friends jingle. You can find that on my YouTube channel and also on the Jasper and Friends Facebook page. And so we did that. He did a great job. And I mentioned to him, it's like, 61 now. Put him back when I was 20. I wrote this Christian song. I've
Mhm.
always wondered what it would sound like if somebody put music to it. So yeah, so he's like, well, let me, shoot me the lyrics and we'll see what we can do. And I shot him the lyrics and he's like, dude, this song is awesome. He's like, you could sell these lyrics today, I'm telling you. And so he was more than happy to put music and words to it. It really does tug at your heart.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
I told them at that point that I had messed around with just some regular music, some beach tunes and that sort of thing. And he's like,
yeah.
why? He's like, why are you wasting your time on that? You should be writing Christian songs. He's like, you just have a knack for it.
That's
And I'm like, well,
cool.
I got a couple other ideas I could work on. He's like, yes, please shoot them to me when you get them pulled together. And
Yeah.
we ended up all in all doing about 11 Christian songs.
Dang.
They're on Spotify. If you look up Douglas Berry on Spotify, you'll find me. The CD is called album is called "Send Me" because that's one of the Christian songs is about.
Nice.
I hope I don't get too emotional because I do sometimes when I talk about my faith.
Yeah.
But so many times you see something and it's like here I am, God send me, and
Uh-huh.
that thought rattled around in my head. And we pulled the lyrics together for that, and that's a really good one. I like that one.
That's cool.
And when I pulled them together, I tried to make a little bit for everybody because I know, so dare I say, Christian songs can kind of get mundane, maybe a little bit. They all sound the same kind of thing. So
Sure.
I tried to, as any music, really, I shouldn't
Hey,
just call it house Christian.
yes.
So I tried to mix it up. There's a heavy metal Christian song in there. There's a really funky uh, guitar lick, real slow. Where in the world is the world today? It's called, and it's got really cool, funky southwestern style guitar licks to it. Not country
Cool.
music, just like almost like I don't know if anybody has heard of Lost Lonely Boys. Sometimes they do real
Yeah.
funky
Just like
music on
oh,
that,
not,
real
not
slow stuff.
reggae, but just funk.
Yeah,
Funk.
yeah,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
real
Dang.
slow guitar licks.
11
Almost
songs.
apocalyptic kind of stuff, not real fast, but real slow apocalyptic
Oh,
guitar
okay.
strings.
Kind of a
So that's a really cool.
demure feel to it,
Yeah,
kind of okay, okay,
wish I
okay.
had some pulled up. I don't know if they'd come across on the thing or not, but on the
Probably not,
internet.
but I could always link some stuff for people if they wanna hear it. That wouldn't be a bad idea. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's super cool. So you're doing, God,
So we
music,
did that.
novels, and kids' books. That's so cool.
Yeah, but I did finally started to get to some of my fun beach song stuff too. So we'll see if that ends up on Spotify or not. I kind of feel like it's almost just for me more than anything. But oh, and one of the songs we did actually get one play on the radio. So that was kind of cool.
One play on the radio? That's
Contacted,
amazing.
yeah,
How did that happen?
I contacted a radio station. Well, first what happened was we did a song. I was home visiting my folks, and I did a song for my wife because I was in her hometown, and I guess you get a little, you start thinking about the past and everything. So
Hmm.
it's called Chrisfield Dreams. It's because she's from Chrisfield, Maryland, right on the Chesapeake Bay.
Okay.
And so I wrote it and put it on some of she loved it. So we put it on some of the local Chrisfield and local area Facebook pages and stuff. And it just got thousands of hits. People were loving it. They're like, this could be the new theme song for the town. I'm like, oh my gosh. And
Wow.
I contacted a local radio station there and sent it to them and said, this has got like 3 or 4 thousand likes online. So if you want to play it,
Jeez.
go. I'd be honored to have it on your radio station. So it actually played on the radio one time.
One time.
So
Maybe it'll
we
play
got
again.
one in
Maybe it'll
there.
play again.
Well, immediately, of course, I sent messages to all my friends back in the area. It's like you need to call them and tell them that song was great and play it again.
Yes, bombard them. Bombard them with positive things about this song.
Yeah.
Make this happen. Well, that's amazing. And so, I mean, are you gonna put like in your Jasper books, are you gonna put any like the jingle? Did you put like a QR code or anything or a link to the jingle in the books too? Because you're adding the music to it. You
No,
do
that's
anything
a
like
great
that?
idea. I'm not that smart, but that's a great idea.
I'm not that smart either. I stole this from somebody. So I'm more or less an intellectual thief.
Evidently, that's going to be book 4. That'll be on the back cover.
There you go. Any further copies, you just get it on the back. QR code, boop.
Yep.
That's all you need to do. Yeah, QR
Yeah,
codes are great. They'll link people to all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And you're killing it. Sci-fi. This is all like in like 2 years. I think we talked two
Yeah,
years ago.
it was it's kind of mind-boggling when I thought about it because it dawned on me the other day. It's like, man, I wrote my first book in 2020,
Yeah.
but yeah, the songs and the other books, I mean, yeah, it's been about just 2 years that really all that just kind of snowballed, and I got the science fiction book and the music. It's just
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah. Talk to me about the development of the book. Did it take a long time to write up? Because I can't remember you had posted about it and then it came out. And I know there's definitely some work before that. How long did it take you from inspiration to publication?
Well, I cheated. I'll be honest with you, because I used Chat GPT,
Yeah.
not for the storyline,
Sure.
but I would write in there. It's like, okay, the next chapter is going to be about this. Orbit's going to do this. Torch is going to do this. They're going to get into a mix up with the things. Okay, go, and it would kick out a story, a
Wow.
paragraph or a chapter idea, and I'd go back through it and be like, no, I'll rewrite this. No, I'm just going to write this because I know what I wanted to do here. That kind of thing.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
So I cheated and I pulled it together probably quicker than most. But it's a good end product. I played see, I played off my own military background a little bit. The first kind of I built his backstory, Orbit, Jack Orbit Callahan. I built his backstory a little bit. It starts out with him going through officer school, being trained on the F-22
Mhm.
plane and doing combat runs. And of course, I write in the real good, cocky pilot lines and all that sort of thing. Kind of like a Top Gun meets Star Wars kind of thing is what I guess it ends up to. I guess.
That's a good combo. That's a good combo.
So
Yeah.
he goes through, he gets captured. Of course, he escapes and he's all cocky while he's being captured. He tells his
Right.
captors at one point in time, he's like, "Can we just jump ahead to the part where I escape this way?"
Let's do the part where you're tied up and I'm leaving. So let's just do
Yeah.
that. I think that's a good idea. Oh, that's really fun. That's really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does that. And then it's they find he's getting dogged by this UFO
Mhm.
as he goes through life. As it's always just like out in the peripheral, over there, and then it's gone kind of thing. And
Yeah.
he gets up to becoming an astronaut and he goes to the space station. And even up there, he's finding that. And that's where he gets his nickname
Um,
Orbit because he sets the record for most orbits in the space station.
Gotcha, gotcha. And then I like how you've kind of taken historical stuff because there's been many encounters or many claims of pilots seeing UFOs while they're flying. And a lot of them, from what I hear, don't say anything because people have been just basically excommunicated,
Yeah.
going, "Yeah, you are no, like you are obviously of no sound mind." I'm like, these guys fly at like Mach 2 or faster. I don't know how fast they fly, obviously, and are able to land said things without, dying.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're not dumb. Clearly, they're not delusional. Maybe take them seriously, or give them the benefit of the doubt at least.
Yeah.
So I like you've taken kind of that nugget from history and blown it up into something for a different story. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
It was fun to pull together.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
sure it was.
I use their human side, their Earth knowledge against the aliens because they don't know anything about us.
Mhm.
So in
Okay.
one scene, just to let another little funny nugget out, they get captured by some aliens, of course.
Well, obviously, they have
So,
to. They have to.
so,
The tractor beam.
they get caught and they're bound up. They got their hands tied and stuff, and
Yeah.
they're trying to figure out a way to break out of there. And uh, Orbit looks at his partner Torch. He's like, "I got it. I'm gonna fake a heart attack, and you're gonna call him in." And Torch is like, "Dude, that's like the oldest trick in the book." He's like, that's the oldest trick on Earth or something." He says, "It's like,"
Yeah.
and Jack looks at him. He's like, "Yeah, but we're not on Earth." It's like,
Good point. Logic prevails. All right, let's go. Kind of reminds me of like the Martian. He goes, "I am the best botanist on Mars." I'm also the worst botanist on Mars.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. Good fun
That actually
comedy.
works. Yeah, so that actually works for them, and they get through the corridors, and there's stuff going all off because they know they've escaped at this point, and they get to where their ship is, and there's a bunch of other aliens around it. And it's like, we need a Torch looks over at Jack, and he's like, we need a distraction. He's like, should we try the heart attack thing again? And it's like, of
To try the heart attack thing again. Oh my God,
course
that's
they don't. He
amazing.
shoots something and it blows up, and then
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
ship.
Yep. There's got to be things that blow up, especially in sci-fis. I mean, come on. We can't have fancy machines running around without some explosions. We need to have explosions. It
And
happened in Star Wars.
that's how Torch got his nickname at the beginning of the book. He's like, he tends to have stuff blow up, and sometimes it's on purpose. It's kind of the
He's got
storyline behind
proclivities for pyrotechnics.
it.
I'm stealing that line from Harry Potter, obviously.
Uh,
Funnily enough. But man, you're just all over the place doing some good stuff. This is fantastic. So, are you doing any like actual in-person vendor events in the upcoming summertime or
yeah, I'm hoping to. I just ordered up some books. They'll be about a week or so. Trying to get all spun up.
nice?
The last couple of years, I went to a town about an hour away, and was there every Saturday. And I got good sales there. There's no reason not to go there, but it's kind of wearing on me.
Yeah.
Weekends I really want to myself. So I'm going to try to do more stuff here a little bit closer to Camden,
Yeah.
and uh, and do that. And I'm actually planning on retiring at 62, the beginning of January. So
Nice.
hopefully that will blow the doors wide open. And if I need to go do a book show in Virginia, I can. If I need to go do a book show down in Florida, I can.
Yeah.
I'll have that time to shoot down there and do that. So
The time will, yes, it will definitely be there. And I'm the more people I talk to, the more it's when they hit retirement, it's all of a sudden they're able to just explode with creativity and go enjoy themselves and sell stuff and meet more people. So you won't be bored. You won't be
that's
bored.
the plan. I don't want to be bored. Yeah, my wife even told me, she's like, "You're going to drive us crazy." I'm like, none of what I think is I'm going to be doing, I actually end up doing, because I don't plan on just sitting around.
No, that would drive you crazy. I mean, I can't imagine someone like yourself with a military background. A lot of the people I meet, because I work at a Navy base, they don't like to just sit around and do nothing. They're usually tinkering with something in their mind. They're planning something. They have to be moving. So I imagine you are of the similar cloth.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, that's good. That's exciting. That's exciting. So this coming January or the following January?
This coming January. So,
Coming January. So 26 January.
yeah.
Fabulous.
They kind of teased me a little bit. They had that on, it was a program called a Fork in the Road program,
Hmm.
where they wanted people to retire, and they were going to give you severance pay for like till September.
Yep.
And I got the email, so I
Yep.
got
Me
all
too.
excited. It's like, I can retire early. So I responded to it. Yes, I'll take this. And I didn't hear anything back, and it kind of drug on for like the month. And I'm like, why am I not hearing anything? And then come to find out, because I'm a NAF employee on the military base, there's two not genres. There's two groups of NAF employees, and depending on where they get their money from, depends on whether you fall
Uh,
into that category or not. That can take the severance pay, the Fork in the Road program.
gotcha.
And as my luck would have it, I was in the group that could not take that.
Well, then
And the
they have
whole
I got the same email because I work for the Department of the Navy, and of course I'm a little too young to do any kind of retiring, sadly, unless I want to sell things that I'm not willing to sell. And then they have these other ones like the Vera, the voluntary retirement program. Many
yeah,
people are taking that now, which good on them because they're 6 months to a year and a half away from retirement anyway. It's like
yeah,
go, play, enjoy, get out of here. I
yeah.
would if I could. It's not a bad thing.
That's what
Yeah.
my boss said. She's like, "You're probably one of the few people it actually makes sense to take this."
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I'm all for it. I'm encouraging folks who are nearing that time. It's like just get out of here. Go be with your family, go have some time to yourself. And then you get to go explore and play with Jasper and share
Yeah,
him with the world and your other book and then your music too. So I mean you have plenty to do. You have
yeah.
plenty to do.
There's there,
Explore.
there's there, and it just dawned on me. There are other things I've got in the works that I haven't said anything about yet. Uh,
Ooh.
a Jasper board game.
Oh my God. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Got
I
so
devised
much
that.
stuff. You got an activity book. You can do coloring books. Obviously, you can do coloring books. You got plushies. Do board games.
Yeah,
The cartoon
yeah.
would be interesting. I want to see you do a cartoon. That'd be really fun.
Oh, that would be a blast. I don't know what it takes to do. I didn't know what it take to do any of this stuff, so that's not really an excuse. But I don't know what it takes to do a cartoon.
Where just start
I don't
digging,
know.
man. Start digging. I mean,
I
that's
don't
the
know
hard.
financially if I've got it in me. I don't know. Maybe if you connect with the right people, they're like, don't worry about it. We're just going to put this thing together and see what happens. I mean, there's folks
Right.
out there like that too. So
Yep,
you
that's
just gotta
true.
wait for maybe the good Lord to connect me with the right people. I just keep putting out there that I want to do it.
Yeah, I would say just keep putting out there. And then something else it might help you with. Do you have a newsletter?
I I don't, and that's just again, I'm not a smart man. And folks keep telling me they're like, you need to collect email addresses and do newsletters. And I'm like, I don't know what to write in a newsletter. It's like there's
I
not much.
I didn't either for the longest time, and I've just started like this January. I will say that I had no care and didn't really worry push the email thing. I went from like 130 emails list addresses to almost 500 in a few months.
Whew.
Yeah, just and we can talk about that a little bit later, but mostly I'll refer you to a couple books that I read. They're very short, they're very helpful, and then using Book Funnel is pretty awesome. Yeah, it's like you do little giveaways. You do like you create a reader magnet. You either create yourself for free a short story, something bigger, whatever, and then for people to claim said book, they have to give you their email, and then when they put promos out, you get those emails back, and you build your email list, and you can send them stuff like, "Hey, I write this and this. Interested?" And I've seen traffic start to climb. It's slow, but it's climbing.
Yeah,
So something to think about. And I can share those resources with you once we get done with here. Just to share in the wealth here. I mean, that's the only
yeah,
way we're going to learn is by sharing some information. Hopefully, you can see some success, more
yeah,
success,
yeah.
more success.
I kind of made that same statement. I think it was on my first podcast 100 years ago. Uh, uh, once I get all this figured out, all this book stuff, it's
Yeah,
like I'm going to share it with folks if they ask. It's
yeah.
like it's not going to be. I'm not going to send out like for $99.99. I'll send you this information on how to do your own book. No, it's not. It's not me. That's not how I'm going to do it. But
No, no, and that's something I've had to try to figure out too. Is not I'm not trying to help people write books necessarily. I want to write my own and share my stories, and that's what I've kind of had to come to grips with. Is I'm not this is like the only thing that's kind of information sharing a little bit and more promoting of the authors who come on here. But other than that, I'm trying to push my own stories. I mean, that's what we do with as artists, as authors, is we write a story. We want people to read it. It's
yeah,
kind of the whole point. Yes, the creative part's fun. We want people to read it too. It's a double-edged sword. So, anyway, I'm sure people want to know where they can get all of the things that you're doing, all the music and the books and the novels, and where can they find you, Mr. Doug Berry?
sure. I've actually got a couple website addresses. They both go to the same website. I didn't know I
Mhm.
could do that. That's something else I found out. But so the first one was Jasper and friend Jasper n friends.com. Uh, and that'll take you to all the fun Jasper stuff. And then I thought to myself, it's like, well, do I need to have a douglasberryauthor.com? So I changed it to that. And then I realized that all the marketing stuff I had out there had the other address
Hmm.
on it already. So I'm like, well, I've really painted myself into a corner here, haven't I? So I did some research and I found out that I could link the other one back to it as well. So whichever one you put in there, it'll take you to the same one.
That's good.
So we've got that. The music's on Spotify. Just look up Douglas Berry on Spotify and the album Send Me. Please go on there and listen to those. There's some great inspirational music there. Jasper has his own Facebook page. I think it's actually called Jasper's Rabbit Adventures. You put in the search block and it'll pull up his Facebook page. I've got my own personal Facebook page, and then I also have the Douglas Berry author Facebook page.
Hmm.
And I'm on LinkedIn. All my books can be found on Amazon. Uh, Actually, a lot of them can be ordered right from your your local bookstore. You
Yeah.
can just go down to your local bookstore and tell them you want to get my book, and they can look it up because my distributor is Ingram Content Group.
Yep.
It's one
Yep.
of the largest distributors, from what I understand, in the country. So
Hmm.
they'll get them everywhere online. Right now, that's the thing. I got them everywhere online. I'm starting to get them into some bookstores, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I got you just make contacts again on social media. Uh, there's a little bookstore up in New Hampshire whose name escapes me. You have to forgive me for that. I somehow on a weekend, just on a whim, I wrote an email to a bookstore in Aruba, and they're like, "We'd love to have your book." So now you can get Jasper. If you're vacationing in Aruba, you can go to the bookstore down there, and they'll
I'm going
have.
to Aruba just to find your books now. Okay. I'm going to Aruba now, not for the weather,
Yeah,
to
no,
find
no,
your books. That's cool, man.
so
Keep
we're
doing
getting out
that.
there.
Yeah.
It's just
Shoot.
nuts, and
Yeah, that is nuts.
it's just a lot of work. It's just you set
It is.
creative. You sit there a weekend and you're like, well, how can I get my book out? So you just start emailing information out to different bookstores and stuff, and you just go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're doing great with getting on more interviews and podcasts. I see you posting about podcasts you're jumping on and interviews and talking to people. So I mean, that's all you can do. Word of mouth is the best way to grow your brand,
Yeah.
and you keep adding more products and more stuff. You're doing awesome. I'm excited to see where you're at in a couple years. So we'll check in
Yeah.
later on.
Thanks. Yeah. No signs of stopping. I like to tell folks I'm not smart enough to stop, so I'm just going to keep going.
Just super stubborn.
Yeah. Just really stubborn, man. Just keep
Really
digging.
stubborn. Yeah. Keep slinging all the good stuff. Well, that's awesome. But Doug, this has been fantastic to reconnect, chat again, catch
Yeah.
up. Very excited to see where the future will take you and all of your ventures. So thank you for coming back on again and talking again. This has been wonderful.
Well, no problem. Thanks for having me on. It was a blast.
My pleasure. All right, guys, please go support Mr. Douglas Berry. Check out his books, his kids' books, his sci-fi novel, and his music. How can you not? Come on, how can you not? Go check him out. Please go check him out. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, stay mighty and keep reading.